Hey everybody, this is Manadog here with another Starcraft Underground League Season 2 cast. This cast is from Week 6. It's between Vint from Team Savage, a Protoss player, versus a Zerg player, Skler from Team Unhinged, and perhaps most importantly, we have a very special guest. You know him, you love him, he is Manshark. Yeah, me too. So I'm just going to jump right into the game then. Okay. Alright, here we go. In the top right, we have the yellow Protoss, or what am I talking about? Bottom right, we have the yellow Protoss Vint, and in the top left, we have the pink Zerg Skler. I don't know if I mentioned it, but this first game is on Polestar. Manshark, do you have any opinion on these players? Wow. So you obviously come to this substantially more prepared than I do. Um, but I would say that I think that Skler's record is maybe a little bit rough because he's a really good player. I think that Memnon probably fielded him in a lot of difficult matchups. Particularly, I think his ZVP is quite good. He's really good about like the unit movement aspect as an aggressive player. Vint, though, I think in the head-to-head matchup actually has a pretty good record against Skler. So in a normal, like, just if you didn't know the players, I would probably favor Skler. But I think Vint has a pretty good chance here. No, so this was a 9 pool from Skler. Like I said, he's very aggressive. And from Vint, this was a Nexus first. So Vint should be dead, to be honest. He hasn't scouted it, and you need a second cannon against this. So we might have preambled our way through like half the game here, looking at how this. The gateway will not be, but the cannon will be. Maybe I misread this here. I don't know where this base star or this overlord is. I'm pretty sure this was a 9 pool, but it's very odd to 9 pool into 4 links, is what I'll say. Or at least I guess maybe you just didn't send the other two. But typically if you're doing a 9 pool, it's because you want to go get some damage done. So I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, it's just it's a lot less economic. I mean, because you're getting your first overlord later. You know, you're delaying like your first hatchery. It's just you're slowing everything down at the exchange of damage. You at least want to force a second cannon typically, and we didn't get any of that here. partially because of the spawns and partially just because of how we scouted, maybe some bad luck. But it looks like this is an interesting pivot. He's droning now, you can see, but he got a pretty fast lair, and typically in a ZVP you're looking to take 3 bases fairly quickly, but instead we've put our 3rd hatchery here. So Vint is absolutely a stairless guy. I will tell you, this is a little old of a match, but lately, particularly Vint, I would say is a gambler. He plays a lot of Nexus first, and a lot of things that just will get him an edge if he's not scouted quickly, or if the opponent just happens to not be going the right build. So Vint should have a big economy from this. He was able to get these gates very quickly. Kind of surprised we don't see and what's it called, a citadel yet for legs, but this is a beefy economy. But there's a real opportunity here for mutas because Vint I don't think has any idea that this is coming. Oh, look at what we got here actually. This is 5. You know, I'm not sure because these are 2 uncommon builds I don't really see very much, so we'll have to see how they press up against each other, I guess. Yeah. Well, you know, Dragoons are not as good as you would think they would be against mutas. Like, and I mean, mutas are pretty expensive, but I mean, how many goons is this at this point? This is only 9 goons. It's a similar number of mutas. These mutas should just win in a straight up fight. Although Skler is like, yeah, I do think so. I mean, we may find out that I'm wrong, as I often am in these things, pretty soon. Although if you fly over them and take a bunch of damage, then they do less well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Vint can go in here, and I think the build that he's playing, he's trying to all in. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how wrong I am. Mutas are just good. Yeah, so it looks like Skler was looking to transition into Hydras after this, although he's going to lose the Den. Yeah, he knows that he's throwing down a second one right here. So he's just kind of buying time now. Vint is going to ferry in goons, 5 at a time as long as he's not supply blocked. I think he's clearly looking to kill with this. He's looking to hit a nice timing. And it's possible he does it. I mean, these goons were doing better against the mutas than I thought, but we'll see. Yeah, that would definitely help. Yeah, definitely. If Vint is on top of his macro behind this, I mean, he might be able to jump on these soon. If he brings these zealots forward, he could maybe jump on a sunken here, get something done. Yeah, Dragoons do a ton of damage against Sunkens based on their damage type, so this is looking pretty rough for Skler, yeah. So that's going to call it. That is a 1-0 lead for Vint. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I thought, I mean, you heard me saying it while we're waiting for the fight. I think that, you know, I was saying I think Zerg's got this, and I mean, it was not even close. So I just completely misread that. um, yeah. So the second map for this series is going to be on Neosylphid, which is not shocking. That's a very common Zerg pick. So I'm going to start up the game right now. Okay, I got the scoreboard right, I think. So we have Vint spawning on the left side as the sort of outer blue Protoss, and again we have Skler as the pink Zerg on the right side. So any guesses on what's in store for game 2? Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's very possible because I think he likes to play that way. He is starting off with an Overlord, so this is likely an Overpool, a more standard start. Vint also looking to open more standardly. We'll see. This is probably a Forge here. They always make a gateway when I say that, but we'll find out. Yep, there it is. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Caster Curse. Yeah. But they... Well, I feel like we're kind of challenging him for that title in this game so far. Both of these players are going to scout in the wrong direction, which a little odd. But yeah, so they're not going to find each other first. They're both going to start off fairly blind. Skler sending the drone scout to the second location and sending a drone to take the natural. From Vint, we just have the first Zealot coming out here. Continuing to make probes, probably looking to take a Nexus in the near future. Nothing that out of the ordinary, I would say. Yep, so now Skler is scouted, he has an idea of what's going on. And Vint about to do the same. That's... So Vint is hiding this second gateway. So the way he was doing this, positioning this, is he's trying to make this look like a gateway fast expand, and then he's pushing forward this Zealot that Skler sees, you know, forcing him to make lings, but, you know, to maybe be prepared for something that's not coming quite yet. Although he's crucially supply blocked, right? That's okay. Now we have that coming. So the idea is he would see that, and then Skler or Vint would throw down the Nexus right here. That would be the very normal thing to do. But instead, there's another gateway. So let's see if the tricky move worked. Yeah, this. Yeah. 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 So at home, gosh. So he knows it's a 2-gate now. There's no gas. He's taken the third hatchery, but I think against it. It's odd because typically like a 2-gate is going to want to hit faster than this. This is giving him time to throw up the Sunken Colony. So like often against a 2-gate, Zerg just needs to kind of mass lings, and we're taking a lot of hits here. Just needs to kind of mass lings for a while until they're safe, but he's getting the opportunity to throw up more Sunkens than you typically would. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a spaghetti game so far. This is we're throwing it at the wall, we're seeing what sticks. And I have no idea where it's going, to be honest with you. But zealots are coming. Yeah, that yeah. Well, but that makes them lore accurate, I would say. Um, so yeah, so the problem is like when you're doing these run bys, it's you wouldn't normally have 2 Sunkens here. So like these zealots took a lot of damage just walking in, like a lot more than you normally would. And so far, I don't think, well, he's got 5 kills in there. I think those are mostly lings though. Skler's been at about this drone count for a while. So I guess we're just gonna punch the hatchery for a while, but I don't know. I think we're also a ways away from actually being able to kill these. So let's see. Yeah, I think you're right about that. And it is, as you noted, it's kind of odd to see, like, we have 2 Nexus, but we only have 22 drone or 22 probes, which is a pretty low number. He's throwing down a lot of cannons here. Yeah, we got 2 cannons coming down. We're kind of just still pumping zealots. This SimCity at this point is pretty nice. If we can get, really any sort of anything to kind of block the way if these were to come in, we need a pretty huge amount of zealots to really get through, I think. Uh, I don't know, this is a pretty... Sorry, continue. Yeah, so I think what it looks like he wants to do is just kind of transition into Hydras and maybe push out. He's gotten a lair, but he's not actually doing anything with it yet. I would think maybe we would see like a Spire in the near future to try and kill these maybe a little more efficiently. But right now he's kind of just like hunkering down, playing defense, waiting for Vint to try and move in. Yeah. Yeah, so he's going to try and push this across, but the Dragoons are starting to come out. This is before range. Range just finished. +1 is not far off. These Hydras don't have range yet. He probably needs more cannons, though, that he's not making. Because these... No, we have a lot. Yeah. But not a lot of cannons, and this is 3 hatchery production. They're not rallied. But there's definitely an opportunity for, well, I guess as these come in, there isn't. You know, these are honestly, these are weird game states, and I have no idea where this is going, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, so I mean, the reason though that you so often have Storm coming in like that is, well, this is not the fight you want from Vint, but is you can see that Dragoons are not very good against Hydras. In fact, nothing until you get Storm, or like in smaller engagements, Zealots is really very good against Hydras. Yeah, so I think he has the, yeah, he's got the like unit upgrades. I think everyone has the unit upgrade, like the range and speed type upgrades for all of their units. But Vint is up on 1-0 attack to 0-0 for Skler. He is finally getting his 3rd hatchery, which is important. He's not really doing much tech-wise. He's getting Overlord speed. We have this, but we're not researching anything out of it. So, I mean, this kind of just looks like Skler's plan is to just kind of like dump Hydras on him. Which, I mean, if there's no Storm, that's not a bad plan. So, we'll see. Yeah, I think that's definitely his plan. I think part of why 5-gate Goon works, though, is I think it's like a lot. It's just a lot more production than Zerg is expecting, and he's going to be expecting it this time. So I don't think he can press in here with these Sunkens, but he's going to try. And he may not. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we've got enough magic this time. This is a lot of goons. This is a lot of goons, but we've got Hydras coming in. Yeah, the classic question though is his eyes saw it, did his brain see it? And that is what we'll find out. Exactly. So Skler is just looking to stick on Hydras. He's finally getting the +1. Vint is of a similar mind. We're just pumping goons. We've actually added more gateways. Okay, here's finally a little bit of tech. So we're going triple forge. No, double forge because it's replacing the one that was lost. Finally getting the Citadel. But we're gonna, I mean, if you check this supply, this was better for Vint, you know, a couple of minutes ago. So we're kind of trending in the wrong direction, and honestly, I think the longer this goes without Storm, the better this gets for Skler. Yeah, definitely. And we're pretty far good. This is, what is this going to be, like 17, 16-minute storm? Something like that? I mean, that's like unheard of. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a ton in home though. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 gateways. However, we might be down to 1 nexus soon, so. Well, so does Vint. He calls GG. Yeah. You spoke it into existence. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was bound to work eventually. We were bound to get one. Absolutely. And it's going to be on match point. So give me a sec. Give me a sec. All right. So we're set up here. Gonna get into the game. Okay. So spawning in the bottom left of match point, the pink Zerg, we have Skler. And in the top right again, we have the olive Protoss Vint. This is a 1-1 series, so this will be the deciders match. Manshark, I'm going to ask you again, what do you think they're going to do? Yeah, for sure. Both these players have pretty strong control, so it could be anybody. So one thing you said that you are absolutely correct about is that two-player maps are generally great for Protoss. Um, the gas steal is less of a thing in ZVP because it's in the very early game, like Zerglings are lethal in a way that Marines just aren't. So yeah, yeah, so it's actually it's like a big hit to the Protoss economy to send out an early probe and then spend 100 gas or 100 minerals just to steal the other, to steal the other person's gas. So if you try to do that, you can just very easily die to Zerglings. And then plus they do a lot of damage and they'll kill the gas a lot faster, especially like for the minerals spent than Marines will. And Vint is, I think he wanted to open with a Nexus first here, but he sees that he's going to get scouted, so he's made both a Forge and a Gateway, which is a choice. Don't know why. Yeah, that's not a wall. That didn't block anything. Yes, yeah, it's because workers don't have a workers don't have like the whole position command. Um, I'm wondering though, does this cannon even cover like a Ling hitting from over here? Like this is so far back. Yeah, he did. look. This is inside Vint's base. This is, yeah, this is the scouting drone that we made the wall, you know, maybe theoretically trying to keep out. Maybe we just knew. Maybe we just knew that if that drone is getting in, something crazy's happening. No. So he definitely did see it go in, but the mains on this map are enormous. Like Protoss unit or Protoss buildings actually have the longest vision range of any building, and he's still, yeah, he still, I don't think can, yeah, he still can't see this creep yet. So this is still a complete surprise, yeah. And the, yeah, and crucially, creep doesn't show up on the minimap. So even like you can a little bit see it there, but if you're not paying attention, you know, if you just use your camera key, bring it back here, you're not going to notice yet. Okay, that's a little more visible, a little more obvious. Something's up. No, so this is a, yeah, no. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was checking to see if they were. So I think that maybe the plan is to rush these lings in the front, and then as they're already fighting, to bring all these lings in the back and hit the cannons directly. That would be my guess. Oh, oh, we're just gonna kill the main instead. Which, you know, yeah, pretty good call. Yeah, Vince just, he doesn't even want to play it out. All right. So I just like to note that I think between these three games, I don't think we got any normal builds. I think we got 0 standard builds in 3 games from these two players. Yeah, that was interesting games. I think both of these players pretty consistently provide like really fun, even if they're not always technically correct. They definitely provide like exciting, fun games to watch, and I think they definitely did that here. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I'd just like to say that I appreciate you joining me on the cast, boss man. Well done. Yeah. Yep, agreed. So I think that's it for us, and I'm gonna say bye on this one.